Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Cadell, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the agenda of the regular meeting of Council on Monday, December the 11th, 2023.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion is carried. None opposed. Moving on to the minutes of the regular meeting of Council, November 27th, 2023. Councillor Cadell.
Thank you. For 27th, 2023.
Thank you, Councillor. Any discussion on the previous minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion is carried, none opposed. Moving on to delegations, SD&G Library Services. Welcome, Rebecca.
There's the PowerPoint, so you can just click it and it will run through your presentation. I'll push you on to the presentation. There you go.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, staff. Thank you very much for having me tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rebecca Luck. I'm the new Director of Library Services at SDG Counties, and I'm here tonight just to talk to you about SDG Library. So SDG Library is made up of 15 branches, and we're located across the counties of SDG. We're made up of 44 employees, some of which are located at the administrative office at the county's building. And we include a courier, then we have all our library assistants and our casual support staff. Your Alexandria Library branch is located at the Glengarry Sports Palace. It is one of 3 designated library branches that are actually bilingual, so which means that they service the patrons both in English and French. It's considered a resource branch, so that means that it is open 44 hours per week, 6 days a week. It is actually one of our busiest branches. In the month of November, we averaged 62 people per day. So just some key takeaways and statistics from the 2023 year. Alexandria Library Branch saw over 32,000 print material distributed. We had over 2,000 ebooks and e-audiobooks distributed, 3,500 hours of public computer usage. We had over 1,000 borrowers, 13,000 visitors, and over 300 new members. Your Maxville Library branch is located adjacent to the North Glengarry Fire Department at Station 3. It's what we consider a neighborhood branch, which means that it's open 16 hours per week, 4 days per week. Sorry, 16 hours per week if I didn't say that properly. Thanks. Again, some key takeaways for the statistics on the Maxville Library branch. We have over 6,000 print material distributed this year, 659 ebooks and e-audiobooks distributed, 64 hours of public computer usage, 209 borrowers, over 2,000 visitors, and 62 new members. So both your Alexandria and Maxville Library branches host a full range of services, and that would include what you typically think of from your library. So you can go in, you can borrow books, DVDs, magazines, or you can go online to the website and you can go into the catalog and you say, I know that, I want this book, but you don't have it in my library branch, but you have it all the way over in Chesterville or Winchester or South Mountain. You can request that item, and that item will be brought to you at your local branch. We also have free Wi-Fi, printing, scanning, copying, faxing. We also have some databases that host some professional development, such as LinkedIn Learning. You can borrow museum passes to, for example, the Canadian Nature Museum up in Ottawa, the Upper Canada Village, and we also host a collection for local history buffs. We have public computer stations for those at home who do not, and we have online ebooks and e-audiobooks, which had a huge popularity, especially during COVID times. So we pride ourselves as being a community hub, offering a multitude of programs offered throughout the year. This one here I just wanted to highlight because it was one that was recently completed at your Alexandria branch, in which it was Barbie's Escape Room. So you had to help Barbie escape and get her back to Barbie World. So staff organized this, they developed it, and they put it on and developed it for primarily families and teens. We had over 70 participants actually for this one program, and that included 2 class visits from GD's grade 7 and 8 class, and I was told that it was girls versus boys, and I heard that the boys rocked it. So we offer a multitude of programs throughout the years that cater to a whole bunch of different age groups and categories, and it's just offered by staff. We also offer system-wide programming throughout the counties. So one being our most popular, which is the TD Summer Reading Club. And that is designed to inspire youth to explore the fun of reading throughout the summer months. It is a program delivered by 2 summer students, and we apply for grants every year to subsidize for these summer student positions. 2023 actually marked the first year that it was fully in person since COVID, and we saw a 20% increase in participants in 2023 compared to 2022, and this was 1,200 participants over the summer, and they're all kids, enjoying the love of reading. So another system-wide programming that is very popular is SDG Reads. So I apologize to members of County Council who have heard me speak on this. The slogan for SDG Reads is one book, one community. So people throughout SCNG are encouraged to read one book and come together after the event for a culminating activity or event with the author. So this year we had Maureen Jennings, who is the lady to the right of Tony, and she's actually the author of the Murdoch Mysteries series. And so this year's event was held in Avonmore, and we had over 100 participants. The hall was packed. It was a wonderful, wonderful event, and absolutely amazing positive feedback from it. As part of our community outreach initiative, SCG Library attends community events throughout the counties. So we have pop-up libraries, we call them. And this year we have attended over 20 events. And the ones specifically in North Glengarry included the Tel des Jeunes and St. Finnan's Kindergarten open house events, which we saw 35 visitors. We had the Women's Day event, which saw 243 visitors, the Maxville Fair, which saw 96 visitors, and earlier in December, we participated in the Alexandria Lions Club Christmas Parade. So, what's coming up next? We're going to be doing the March break programs, Maxville clubs. We have knitting and book clubs. Same with Alexandria. We have book clubs that are very popular. STEAM programming events for the children, so experiments with the snow and learning to code. We're going to be hosting more school events, getting our name out there, more pop-up library and outreach events, SDG Reads, and we'll also be hosting a local author illustrator visitor. So without taking too much of your time, I'm hoping that this will be just a first initiative just to kind of bring SDG Library to you and just provide you with updates throughout the year. So thank you very much for your time, and I welcome any feedback or questions.
Thank you, Rebecca. Very informative. I have a question just on the, you called them 3 resource branches, and then you had neighborhood libraries. Are these, and Alexandria has 44 hours. Do all the resource branches have 44 hours, or is it based on how much lending happens or the traffic?
Right. So we actually have five resource branches, and yes, it's based on hours of opening. So 44 hours for those.
For those, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Any further questions or comments at this point? Seeing none, thank you again. Thanks very much. Look forward to seeing you again in the future. Okay, moving on to staff reports. Community Services Department, Alexandria Skate Park, final costs. And Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Martin, that Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report CS 2023-24, and that Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive the final cost of the Alexandria Skate Park expansion for information purposes only.
Thank you, Councillor. Welcome in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm really pleased to bring you the Alexandria Skate Park report. As you know, the skate park was completed in early November. So basically, I'll just sum up the exercise. We started with excavation back on September 13th, and the excavator that did the work for us was Gilles Levac and his crew. So they started doing all the work out. And afterwards, on September 19th, we saw Hugo Papillon's crew show up at the skate park. And as you know, they obtained special permission from us to be able to stay on location. So that was really advantageous for us. First of all, they were able to watch the site overnight, which was great. And the other thing is they were able to work extended hours. So that worked in our favor. And you have pictures in your report showing you the different phases as the project went along. On October 3rd, we had our first delivery of concrete, and that was the first of 10 deliveries that we had. And that was supplied by GIP Paving out in Green Valley. A rule of thumb basically with the skate park is it takes 1 week per 1,000 feet of concrete. And we have a ballpark figure that the skate park is now well over 10,000 square feet. So initially we were looking at about 9,600 square feet, but as we were working with the group, we identified 2 sections of the skate park that could be expanded to offer more standing room for participants and also to increase the accessibility of the skate park. And we had a little bit of a buffer in the budget. As council will recall, we had about $11,000 worth of buffer. And we worked with the contractor to be able to do as much work as we could. And the way that it also worked with the concrete is we were able to take advantage of that last load of concrete and spread it out as far as we could on the decks. So we really maximized all of our resources with that. So the project basically was completed by November 6th, and Gilles Levac and his team again came back to the skate park to backfill everything. On one of the near final pages, you'll see what the estimated budget was and the actual. So we had predicted if we were able to stay on budget, and I'd like to remind council that this budget was set nearly 2 years ago. So even though there was a lot of inflation on materials and labor, we had initially set a buffer of $11,000. That buffer was basically eaten up by the expansion that we made on those 2 platforms, and we've come over on this budget by $4,600. In all, there will not be a cost to the taxpayer because this is fully subsidized through a grant as well as by community fundraising. And when it comes to community fundraising, we have a remaining amount of $13,000, but we do have 2 events that are planned. One of them was actually planned a little bit earlier, but some of the organizing members were ill at the time, so we had to postpone that event. So we figured that we're going to be picking back up some fundraising after the holidays. And we also have a major launch that's planned for April or early May to launch the skate park, and we have some organizations that are going to be supporting that. And that's through our association with some of the skateboarders that participated on the project. And I'd like to really give some special thanks to Alexandria Home Hardware and Nathaniel Cardinal Cleanall. They supplied the fencing at no cost for the project, so that kept our construction sites safe. And also the Dunham as well as the Tatham Patrick families. They're the 2 homes that were right in front of the skate park, and they lived through the construction, and they were so gracious. We did speak with them frequently, so we actually had one of the families, the day that the skate park opened, lift up numbers like the Olympics and judge the people that were on. So they were very gracious and very forgiving of all the noise, the dust, and construction that happened. And I also would like to say that this project was blessed with extraordinary weather. In September and October, we had wonderful weather. So a project like this should normally take 10 weeks to complete, and it only took 7.5 weeks to complete. So, and a big thanks to the Alexandria Skate Park Committee for following this project through. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you. So good news all around on that project. Are there any questions? Go ahead, Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to note, Anne, thank you very much for managing this. It was an impressive undertaking. I was out there the day that we opened it, I guess. We did a little ribbon cutting. Ended up coinciding with Remembrance Day was November 11th. The number of people that were out there that day was impressive. The feedback that we got on it that day was fantastic, and really sort of supported that it had been a good idea, and it was wonderful to see it come to fruition. It's an impressive chunk of concrete, and we were saying earlier, there's no upkeep, there's no depreciation on this. This shouldn't need to be touched for years. So we've got an asset that is, we'll call it rock solid. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any further questions or comments? I did go out and try it one night, did many flips and things. I wish there were people there to have witnessed it, but it happened, okay? I just want people to know that. Yeah, that's where the cast came from. Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. And again, thank you, Ann, for that report. We have a motion on the table. All those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. None opposed. Okay, moving on to 2024 community grants. Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report CS 2023-25, and that Council of the Township of North Glengarry approves the following grants conditional to the approval of the Community Grant Program funding in the 2024 municipal budget. Alexandrian District Lions Club, $3,500 for a total of $3,500. Cadell Productions, $3,500. Canadian Broadsword Association, $3,500. Approved amount with $1,103 in kind, approved for a total of $4,603. Centre Lahil Centre, $3,500. Kenyan Agricultural Society, $3,500. Maxville Chamber of Commerce, $3,500. And Sunshiners Social Club, in kind of $735. So that's a total of $21,000 in funding and $1,838 in kind through the Community Grants Program.
Thank you, Councillor. Ann.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is a report that council is used to seeing. We bring this at this time of the year in provision of all of the different events that will be going on next year. And these are funded through the Community Grants Program. So it's really nice this year to be able to say that we have some new organizations that have applied for programming. I know in the past that has been one of the items that council has brought up, that often we have the same individuals coming to the table, but we're pleased to have two new groups that have applied for funding this year. So I just would like to indicate one caveat in regards to Cadell Productions. In the letter of agreement that will be signed, there will be a clause indicating that the organizing members can also not be judges on the panel. So that is going to be indicated in the letter of agreement. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. None opposed. And we'll wait for Councillor Cadell to come back. Okay, moving on to Community Services Department, number 3, CIP application, 71 Main Street South, Alexandria. Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley. The Council of the Township of North Glengarry receives staff report CS 2023-26. And that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry approves the Community Improvement Plan project at 71 Main Street South, Alexandria, Ontario, as submitted by Anthony DiCarlo, signing authority. Program A, Planning and Design Grant, representing a matching grant of 50%, up to a maximum of $547.24 towards the cost of preparing architectural and or site plans for building and facade improvements. Program B, Building Improvement Grant, representing a grant 50% up to a maximum of $7,500 towards works on 2 facades. Program C, Civic Address Grant, representing 1 civic sign provided by the municipality as part of its civic sign program. Program E, building permit fee grant representing a matching grant of 100% of the eligible building permit fees up to a maximum of $150. And Program G, municipal loan program with a maximum of $10,000. Total grants $8,197.24. Total loan $10,000.
Thank you, Councillor. Ann.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is a wonderful project that's coming to us through the Community Improvement Plan. You'll note that there are going to be different components under Program B. They're going to be removing the old siding. They're going to be installing some insulation as well as putting new strapping to accommodate the new siding and installing James Hardy plank. The colors that will be put up are night gray, and the trim is going to be Arctic white. We will also be speaking with the property owner. The Arts, Culture and Heritage Committee who reviewed this application suggested that a cornice with molding as well as corbels be added to the front. So we will bring that to the property owner. It'll be more in the style of Dr. Lajoie's building on Kenyon Street. So we're hoping that he'll be agreeable to doing this. As you can see, there are quotes that were brought forward, and the individual will also be participating in the civic address sign and obtaining some funding under the building permit. There will be a loan in the maximum of $10,000 that qualifies in the program. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ann. I really need to say that I'm pretty excited about this one. It's a few buildings on Main Street that have bothered me for a while, and that is definitely one of them. And so, yeah, I'll be glad to see that happen. Any questions or comments from other members of council? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. None opposed. And moving on to, by the way, I'd gotten a text that we aren't on YouTube. It didn't go up.
It is working, but it's just the
So
video.
what's happening is there's no signal. When the camera's on you guys, you can hear the sound, but you can't see your faces. But whenever it's on the delegation or council member or SMT, you can see them.
We might keep that. They won't be able to catch us when we're sleeping. Oh, they could still hear me though, eh? Okay, so notice of motion, our next regular public meeting of council is January 8th, 2023. And if I could, obviously there is no question period. Confirming bylaw?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Cadell, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry adopts bylaw 36-2023, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution. And that bylaw 36-2023 be read a first, second, third time, and enacted in open council on this 11th day of December 2023.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? Motion is carried. So we get to the end of the meeting. I'd just like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, as this is our last meeting of 2023 and onward to 2024. Also to thank the people that came out to the Alexandria Parade last week in the pouring rain. Councillor Massey really enjoyed it. But no, it was great. The fireworks were great, and a lot of people showed up for the fireworks, so that was fantastic despite the weather. So not sure if anybody else has any other events or wants to say anything. All good? All good. Deputy Mayor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Madden, that there being no further business to discuss, the meeting was adjourned at 6:28 p.m.
All those in favor? Motion is carried. None opposed. Thank you, everyone.